Hello and welcome back to Proactive New York. I'm Christine Corrado. With me right now is Nick Kovacevich, CEO at KushCo Holdings. Nick, great to see you again. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Great to see you as well.
Nick, lots to talk about today. Let's first talk about your recent quarterly earnings that you put out recently. You achieved positive EBITDA and cash flow from operations for the first time in more than 3 years. So what should this signify to investors?
Well, it's a phenomenal accomplishment given all the headwinds we faced during the fiscal year. And what it really should signify is a turning point in the business where we actually were able to survive those headwinds. We were able to reposition the business. We were able to now come out the other side stronger, arguably in a stronger position than we've ever been. And now we're approaching what seems to be like tailwinds with the events that have happened at the election level, the state level, some of the momentum behind the sector. So it feels really good. It wasn't easy. It was a lot of hard work. It's great to see our results paying off, and the numbers speak for themselves. We had a phenomenal fourth quarter, and we look to continue that momentum throughout our fiscal 21.
In your earnings, you mentioned the 2020 plan that you implemented to help you grow. So can you describe how that was factored in?
Yeah, so we had to take a comprehensive approach to looking at the changes in our marketplace. We entered our fiscal year as one of the largest sellers of vape products in the world for cannabis. And we entered our fiscal year with the illicit market vape crisis literally impacting our entire industry. So that's how we started. Then it followed up with COVID, which impacted not just us, but everybody, especially us, because we import our goods from overseas. So we've dealt with those challenges. And in order to deal with it all holistically, we built a comprehensive strategic plan. And that plan involved significant cost cutting. We're very pleased that we were able to cut over 50% of the costs out of the business going from fiscal Q1 to fiscal Q4. So it was a tremendous accomplishment. It also, the plan also dealt with how we're going to actually invest the resources that we do have, right? In the past, we got hung up because we were trying to be everything to everyone. And we decided that really, if we have limited resources, we're going to get the most bang for our buck if we're investing those with the potential for the highest return. And we deem that to be publicly traded cannabis multi-state operators and Canadian LPs. And so we've really honed in on that customer segment. And now we've seen that customer segment growing tremendously throughout the last few quarters as a percentage of our overall revenue. And we've now anchored with some of the best and largest cannabis operators in the country and in North America that are going to be able to continue to drive growth for KushCo. So that's the plan in a nutshell. And like I said, it wasn't easy, but we were very pleased with how we were able to orchestrate it, how we were able to cut the costs, be able to realign the business around the areas where we deemed we would get the most value, and most importantly, be able to then start growing revenues again, which we were able to do to the tune of nearly 20% going from Q3 to Q4.
Well, let's talk about the future. We have a new US president, in addition to more states now legalizing cannabis. So how do you see that impacting the sector and KushCo as a whole?
Well, we see it impacting very positively. And I think the market already knows that. The sector's already going into a little bit of a run here. I think this will be a sustained run because it's not just hype. There's hype. There's 5 new states that have legalized, 4 of them for adult use, one of them being New Jersey, which is one of the most populous states in the country, not to mention the cross-border activity with New York City. And that's going to only spur now states like New York and Pennsylvania to legalize faster so they don't lose that business to New Jersey. So we know the markets are opening up in a very big way. And then importantly, we have the federal government changing to our favor as a cannabis industry. We have now the Democrats taking power in the executive branch with Biden, who is for decriminalizing cannabis. We also have VP Kamala Harris, who is really truly for legalizing cannabis and expunging records and creating opportunities for businesses to expand into multiple areas throughout the country where they currently cannot. So it's very exciting. I think everyone knows that the path is now more clear than ever toward federal legalization. And the companies that are operating today have a huge advantage to the companies that are going to come into the space later down the road. So right now it's all about capitalizing on that opportunity, being able to lock in with these premier clients that we're doing, being able to expand our business and build competitive moats while we do. That's one of our big focuses is innovation, bringing intellectual property to the market, and cornering out the competition that we know is going to come rushing in as soon as this becomes federally legal. Luckily, we're so far ahead that we feel very good about our competitive position.
Really great to hear your take on this, and congrats again on the quarter. Nick, thanks so much.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.